Haul started on a completely ordinary Tuesday. The kind of day you forget as soon as it's over. My husband, Mark, was rushing out the door for work, his tie slightly askew, a piece of toast hanging from his mouth. He kissed me goodbye, a quick, familiar peck on the cheek, and then he was gone. Thought this time, something was different. Something was left behind. His phone thing. It was sitting on the kitchen counter, screen lit up, completely unlocked. My heart did a little flip. Not because I was suspicious, not then. It was more of an instinct, a flicker of curiosity. Mark was always so protective of his phone, almost surgically attached to it. Seeing it there, vulnerable and open, felt like finding a secret diary lying on a park bench. I hesitated. For a full minute, I just stared at it, debating. I told myself it was wrong, a violation of his privacy. We'd been married for 8 years. We had a beautiful 5-year-old daughter, Lily. We had a life we built together, brick by brick, based on trust. But lately, that foundation had felt a little shaky. There were small things, almost too small to notice on their own, but they added up. Here's working late more often, coming home smelling faintly of a perfume that wasn't mine. He'd become distant, his smiles not quite reaching his eyes. When I'd ask if everything was okay, he'd just wave it off, saying he was stressed with work. I wanted to believe him. I really did. So, with a deep breath and a trembling hand, I picked up his phone. To tell myself I was just going to close it, to put it away until he came back. But my thumb hovered over the screen, and before I could stop myself, I tapped on his messages. And that's when my world shattered. The first thing I saw was a name I didn't recognize. Jessica. The messages were recent, from that very morning. Cart. Wait to see you tonight. One read, followed by a string of heart emojis. My blood ran cold. I scrolled up, and up, and up. Weeks, months of messages, pictures, plans, pet names. It was all there, a detailed blueprint of a secret life he was living without me. They had their own inside jokes. They talked about their future together. He told her things he'd never told me, dreams and fears I thought were reserved for us. He complained about me to her. He called me controlling, boring. Said I'd let myself go after Lily was born. Each word was a tiny dagger, piercing my heart. I sank to the floor, the cold tiles a stark contrast to the fire burning in my chest. I couldn't breathe. The room was spinning, too. The worst part was the pictures. Pictures of them at dinner, her head on his shoulder. A picture of her wearing his favorite sweatshirt, the one I bought him for his last birthday. A picture of them kissing, a selfie taken in his car, probably just minutes after he'd left our home. They looked so happy. He looked happier than I'd seen him in years. I felt like a ghost in my own life, or 8 years of marriage, our shared memories, our family. Did any of it mean anything to him? I looked at the photos on our fridge, of us on our wedding day, of us bringing Lily home from the hospital. Was it all a lie? I must have sat there for hours, just scrolling, absorbing the full extent of his betrayal. The initial shock gave way to a wave of nausea, then a deep, gut-wrenching sadness. It wasn't just anger. It was a profound sense of loss. I wasn't just losing my husband. I was losing my best friend, my partner, the man I thought I knew better than anyone. When I heard his keys in the door later that evening, I was still on the floor, his phone clutched in my hand. Hugh walked in, smiling, holding a bouquet of cheap gas station flowers. "Forgot my phone. Silly me," he said, his smile faltering as he saw my face. He saw the phone in my hand, and the color drained from his. The silence was deafening. There was no screaming, no shouting. I was too broken for that. I just looked at him, and he knew that I knew. The excuses started. The frantic apologies. The classic, "it's not what you think." But it was. It was exactly what I thought, and so much worse. That night was the beginning of the end. But it was also the beginning of something new. K was the moment I realized my own strength. The journey since that day has been incredibly difficult. There were days I didn't think I could get out of bed. Days when the grief was so overwhelming I could barely function. But I had to. For Lily. And for myself. Navigating separation, co-parenting, and healing from such a deep wound is a process. It takes time, patience, and a lot of self-compassion. I learned that it's okay to not be okay. I leaned on my friends and family, and I even started seeing a therapist, which has been like to talking about it. Getting it all out helped me see that his betrayal wasn't a reflection of my worth. It was a reflection of his own choices and his own brokenness. For anyone out there who has ever felt this kind of heartbreak, who has had their world turned upside down by someone they trusted, please know you are not alone. The pain can feel unbearable, but you are stronger than you think. You will get through this. It's so important to reach out, to talk to someone. Don't carry that burden by yourself. Healing is possible, and there is light on the other side of that darkness. Finding my own path wasn't easy, but I'm slowly rebuilding my life, piece by piece. And this time, it's being built on a foundation of my own strength and resilience. Thank you for listening to my story. If you've gone through something similar or just want to share some support, please leave a comment below. It helps to know we're not alone. Don't forget to subscribe for more stories about navigating life's toughest challenges. See you next time.